Yes, of course, it's a heartbreaking moment if you concede in such a situation, also in the circumstances, in this manner. Equalizer. Yes, it's football. If you want to take part in sports, you can't expect the sun is always shining, and sometimes you're also on the wrong end over the course of the long season. Yeah, after 46 game days, we had great winners in the last moment of the game, and the opponent felt the disappointment and had to suffer exactly like we today. When we think about whatever late winners away at Sheffield or against Sunderland, they felt exactly the same that we feel right now in the dressing room, and of course we are today on the wrong end. And if you concede then in this manner, in this way, the equalizer after such a game, anyhow, it's of course heartbreaking, and you have to suffer a little bit. That's normal, but then we go again.
When you look at the 2 goals that you conceded, I mean, how do you explain what happened with Illan Meslier for the first one?
Yes, I can't explain. We also don't have to talk too much about it. It was also obvious to see what happened today. Overall, I would say it was for me a typical first game after international break. I think scruffy game. We were not at our best. We started strong, obviously, with the first goal. It was important and a good chance, but overall, like you would expect when the team is more or less for 2 weeks not together, you just have one training session. The lads are away, 12, 13 players away with different approaches, coming back more or less with thoughts about their national team, and you just have one day to prepare for your next game, and you haven't trained together for 2 weeks. It's always then in possession we are not at our best. It was exactly the case in the first half. Need a bit to shake the rustiness of the international break off. The good thing was that we saved our clean sheet and found a way to score the goal, and we were 1-0 in lead. We spoke about this at halftime. Was like how we calmed them down, how to shake a bit the rustiness of the international break off. And I think overall we played a really good second half, much more dominant, much more in control, much more in their half. Yes, but if they then find a way without having a chance to equalize, it's difficult in such a game. Yeah, of course, you could speak about that. Ayo played the back pass and for a corner for them without necessity. Of course, it was unlucky then, but it was still a situation where without having a chance, they scored the equalizer. I have to say, fantastic reaction of my team, because then in such a difficult game, when you are so much in control and concede out of such a situation, equalizer can be sometimes the turning point in the game or a sucker punch. And not for us, we found the next gear. Also, the substitution made an impact, and was exactly how you would like to paint such a game. Then we took the risk. It was a difficult decision with Willy to bring him on the pitch anyhow, because we got the thing, come on, for the last 10 minutes we take the risk with his injury. And normally these stories are just written in football. He scores then more or less what we all thought would be the winner. The whole stadium is buzzing. Everyone chips in to dig in and to defend really with the knife between the teeth. Is important 3 points. Yes, and then of course a bit unlucky that the ball bumped somehow against, I think, Matteo's chin and went in the way of the opponents running, and they played a through pass. But to be honest, was not even a chance anyhow out of this angle. But somehow the ball was again in the net in the last minute of the game, and of course it was heartbreaking. Sometimes it's like this in football. For me, normally, without the last situation, it would have been a perfect, hard-fought win in the first game of the international break. I told the lads after the game, can't ask for more. What we did, of course, we were not at our best football-wise first half, but the heart we showed and what we did and how we reacted and found the next gears, how we reacted also to the sucker punch, how the players who came in made an impact, was exactly what you need to do, was perfect. Yes, the last scene is then, of course, heartbreaking, and for that, yes, we don't win 3 points, we just win 1 point. Yes, and for 1 or 2 days we will suffer right now, and then the sun will shine again and we go again.
So do you feel unlucky rather than it being a lapse of concentration on your players' behalf? Is that how you feel it today? Or have you been harder with them?
No, I just feel disappointed, because I can't ask for playing our best possession game under these circumstances when many players are just coming back. So the reason we, for example, didn't have AO and Junior in the starting lineup because we were literally not capable to play 90 minutes because AO played on Tuesday, Junior on the early hours of Wednesday, completely different time zone, flight overnight, no sleep. They were tired. I'm not sure if it played a part in this back pass from AO perhaps, but no complaints anyhow. He tried everything and we wanted to have him back, and we thought he would be capable to help us for at least 30-35 minutes. Overall, I'm pleased with my lads. They showed great heart and also exactly what you have to do in such a scruffy game. After the first game, after the international break, you can go through each and every league. It's more like in the Premier League when Liverpool has the lads back just for a few days, or in Germany, Bayern Munich. First game is always scruffy, always difficult. You just need to find a way to win it, and we did it exactly in the way you want to do this. But if the opponent is then capable more or less to score 2 goals without having chances in this 2 games, and more or less in these 2 situations, and their goalkeeper is the man of the match. It says a lot about the story of the game. And then you have to accept that just 1 point.
How close was Willy to starting today?
If you would have asked me 10 days ago, I would have said very close, because obviously there was a good advertisement in the last away game. I like it a lot, what he has delivered. Then he went away on international duty. Then he had this injury, and obviously also serious injury. So for that was no chance to start him. It was even a bit risky to bring him on the pitch for 20 minutes. If we would have stayed in Leeds, I wouldn't have bring him on the pitch at all. But we got the feeling, okay, it's a draw. Come on, for 10-15 minutes we can risk it. Right now we have a bit more time to let the injury settle and let the healing settle, and then he's hopefully in a much better situation already for the next upcoming important week with 3 games. But today it was a tight goal. I was quite happy that in the end he said, of course I feel it a bit in the movements, but with painkillers and tape I'll be able to help the team if needed for a short cameo. And yes, was the right decision to bring him on the pitch. Sadly, he's not allowed to be the hero today, because we have sadly to speak too much about the heartbreaking moment in the 96th or 97th minute.
Thanks.
Great.
I know that you win as a team, lose as a team,
Yeah.
but when a player has made more than one mistake that has cost you points like that, is there not a point where you question his place in the team?
Yeah, but not right now, straight away after the game, out of the emotions, and so after such a heartbreaking moment, and really feel for my lads. It was so heartbreaking for them, although they really did everything. I'm far away right now from sitting here then in an interview or in the press conference or in front of the cameras and punish a player for something. Like I said, we win together, we lose together, we draw together. Of course, we don't have to speak about it. Everyone could see what has happened today, but it's not right now not up to me to give any judgments or messages out of the emotion straight away after the game. So after such a game, and after such a heartbreaking finish, they don't need a manager who puts his disappointment then on the shoulders of the players, because it's tough enough for them to accept this result today anyway.
Are you concerned at all that your team has struggled to put their usual 90-minute performances together in recent games, not just this one?
No, because you can't compare this. So in this game, it was more or less really exactly what I expected, and also when I think about the second half, apart from the 2 goals that they've scored without chances, and it was a really good second half. When I think about our last home game against Millwall, it was a pretty mature performance. Pretty happy with this. We came away in a difficult way, also with a decent away point on the road at QPR. It's this type of the season. Last 3 games we played more or less 3 games within 6 days. Right now, first game after international break. It's not the time right now to play your best football there, to shine. It's more like to grind out results. And we're pretty close today to have the perfect start after the international break. Yes, but sadly due to the circumstances, just 1 point. And this is what you have to accept. In the end, it's still 1 point that makes us edge closer to what we want to achieve, and everything is in our own hands. But what I said before, so of course you always have a bit waves during the season, how you feel. And of course today we feel a bit more down than it could have been. Yeah, of course a win and 3 points would have made our life a bit easier today. Also like to finish perhaps even in the top 2 to go for automatic promotion. But we still have everything in our own hand, and we know if we bring our results on the table, then we will be in a good position. But today we have to suffer a little bit. We will suffer the next 2 days and then go again.
Did you have any reservations about starting Ethan? Do you think he was ready to start today and play close to an hour?
No, because I observed him really closely in during the whole training week and also his leadership. He looked really sharp and good in training. It was always clear that after being out for such a long time he wouldn't be at his best. It's normal that he would need to shake the rust off, but the feeling was against the Welsh side in a home game when we still had our Tanaka not at his full fitness. Ilya was also away on international duty, many players away. Then we wanted to need his leadership, and for me it was clear that he could play perhaps up to 60 minutes. Without the yellow card, perhaps I would have played him even a bit longer, because of course he needs to shake off a bit the rust of the injury. It was also sometimes to see in possession, but also again his smartness in terms of leadership, in terms of when to make sometimes also a tactical foul or don't do anything stupid in possession against the ball, always aware. So for me also no coincidence when I took him off, we were 1-0 in lead. We haven't conceded the goal before. Was definitely not his best game anyhow, but important minutes for him, and this will also help him, our captain, our important player, to achieve full fitness. And yes, but longer than 60 minutes I would have been a bit reluctant to play him, because we still have to be smart. And thank God we had Ao then also there and physically at least also ready for the final 30 minutes. Again, normally it would have been a perfect outcome in all matters with a 2-1 win. Yeah, of course, and it's more like the 2-2 changes a bit the mood that you feel, and you judge more or less each and every situation and decision. But overall, I got the feeling so normally what we have done, the decisions were spot on, apart from this heartbreaking goal.
After 6 points from the last 15, how do you convince the players psychologically that last year isn't happening all over again?
It's a different group, and don't have to convince anyone. So it's more or less like completely different scenario. So in last season we were not one time in the situation that we were leading from the front or had a point gap to the others, or the others had to chase. Right now it's a different situation, because we were already in the leading role and are still in the situation that when we win, let's say we would win our last games, and the others can play how they want, we would finish in the top 2. That's definitely a fact, also due to the fact that they still play against each other. So for that it's a completely different situation scenario, but there's never a guarantee for success. So we are right now, I spoke about, we've gone many steps. Right now it's the final step. The final step it's always the most difficult one. It's always like crunch time period, nerves, young players. You need a bit of luck with injuries. There's never a guarantee that we do this, but I also was in this situation before, and I know how tricky it is also sometimes to lead from the front, but I also know what is necessary to bring it over the line. And for that, yes, we will try everything with our leadership also to make sure that the lads have the best chance also to make the final step. And if you ask me right now, I'm 100% convinced that next season we will play in the Premier League. I'm 100% convinced. And I've got a really good group. Of course, today it's a bit suffering after this heartbreaking finish. But that's what we do. And from Tuesday we concentrate on the important upcoming week. And I'm pretty confident that with this mentality that we've also shown today, there is definitely a lot to cheer about come next May. Hopefully soon in next May, and if not, then late in next May. But I'm pretty sure we have something to celebrate together with our supporters.
Thanks, Daniel.
Daniel, there was 7 minutes added time added on, and maybe some may argue that was the result of Swansea games. Do you think the referee needs to be a bit more mindful of that?
I asked him because it was obvious to see their goalkeeper went a bit time to want to have a bit more time wasting. They had a team talk. I asked the first official, listen, you've seen that they've told their goalkeeper to go down to pretend an injury right now. Can't you do anything? He said, no, listen, we know about this topic. We've seen this, but our hands are tied. We can't do anything about it. But be sure we will add a time, so in order that this time wasting doesn't have too much of an effect. Of course, it has an effect because always break the rhythm. And then after we scored, it's more or less like I asked the question, listen, right now you won't reward them for their time wasting anyhow. He said, yeah, listen, my hands are tied. We have to do this. That's the rule. I'm not sure if the rules are always in the center of the game. I said, listen, if I would sense this as a referee, I wouldn't give any added time anyhow for the team who was time wasting more or less the whole second half. Again, no complaints from my side about Swansea's behavior. They fight for different target. They're the difficult away team. And of course, they have to be smart and bend the rules also a little bit. But in terms of how you handle this, if this happens anyhow, of course, it's then a bit questionable if this makes sense and to reward them, that they have more time to equalize the game. But again, it's not the referee, not the fourth official, not the rules who are today crucial that we concede this equalizer. So also definitely not time wasting of Swansea or anyhow. So I can't accuse them at all. Yeah, today we have to be self-critical that we concede the goal without giving really like a proper chance away. Of course, it was a striking position, but if you're honest, not really a chance.
Just on Illan, obviously it's important to remember he did make a few good saves, but do you worry after those sort of mistakes, there's any concern that your defenders might lose a bit of confidence in their goalkeeper?
No, like I mentioned before, it's not the time after the game to speak about such a topic anyhow, because I'm pretty sure he will suffer more than anyone else, and he doesn't need right now a manager who is additionally on his back and is there with comments about him. So for that, we've spoken enough about this topic, and everyone has seen what has happened. That's it. We win together, we lose together today. We drew together.
Stuart?
Daniel, you outlined the difficulties of playing after the international break, but thinking back, the Norwich game and the Sheffield Wednesday game, you scored early in both of those and kind of invited the opposition back in. Is there a bit of a mental problem with just sort of putting the foot down on the throat once you score early, do you think?
I'm not sure. I think when I have a look in our history books, it's the case. Once we went in lead the last 70 games or whatever, we haven't lost one game, or out of this, 70 games, there were perhaps 4 or 5 draws anyhow. Yes, right now we have to accept one more draw, but overall I wouldn't say that we go in lead anyhow. There is a mental problem that we don't bring it over the line. But I'm not sure if there is any other team, at least since I'm in charge, I just can speak about my time in charge, who, when they go in lead, are so successful also in terms of point average. Yes, this was today more or less like a bit against the tide, that we just have 1 point. Yeah, has the obvious reasons anyhow, but I'm not concerned that we have a mental problem in these terms anyhow. Not at all. So again, I think we showed mental strength to react to this first half, to find next gear. I think we showed mental strength, although it was a scruffy game, to handle such a sucker punch, to such an equalizer, and to find a way also to score again. Yes, sadly after we concede more or less in the last minute, there was then not much time to react anymore. Otherwise, with 2 or 3 minutes, I would have been sure we would have created another chance. So in terms of mentality or mental situation, we don't have to worry at all about the status of my team now.
And from here on in, is it now a case that it's just the best thing for the guys to go away and just clear their minds for 48 hours and come back on Tuesday?
Exactly. I told them, listen, 48 hours, you clear your mind, you don't think about football, about anything else. They spent so much time away right now and didn't sleep in their own bed anyhow, and after they came back, so some straight away from the flight to the training ground, it was difficult definitely for them. Right now it's also a little bit like, come on, we also don't have to overanalyze this game anymore. It was exactly what I spoke about, the story of the game. Come on, clear the head, be ready then, and we go then for the last 7 games, because we're still in a pretty good position to have a lot to play for, and also hopefully to cheer about pretty soon.